For this project, we're going to use Pixlr. You're going to go to Pixlr, click Login, sign up for an account, uncheck the boxes, agree to the terms, and now you need to check your email for a verification code. Go to your email, return here, and type in the code. You may need to check the spam folder, or wait and refresh your email. Now you're going to sign in again and agree to the terms, but unsubscribe from the newsletters. There are two types of Pixlr, Pixlr X and Pixlr E. Pixlr X is a simplified version of Pixlr. For example, if you want to open an image and just touch it up, you can do so here. However, we're going to be using Pixlr E. Open your image from your computer. I already have this one here. And then notice the cool tools on the left-hand side. It's very similar to Photoshop and or GIMP, the software that we have in our computer lab. To see your photo better, you can scroll in or out using your scroll wheel on your mouse. Notice wherever you point is where you're going to scroll into. For those without a mouse, if you're using a trackpad, use 2 fingers. 2 fingers sliding up will zoom in, 2 fingers sliding back will zoom out. Practice this and notice where the mouse pointer is when you do your zoom. We could use tools such as the lasso tool or the cut tool, but for this exercise we're going to use a very simple tool. We're going to use the eraser. So click on the eraser and immediately start erasing the background and watch what happens. Oh, you can change the size of your brush, by the way. Notice the white background. This is indicative of right out of the box you can only erase to white. Well, we need to modify this slightly. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so we can erase to transparency, which makes it look invisible. And when you bring it around in different programs, it's like you can put it over anything and the background will be missing. So double click the little lock mechanism over here on your layer. Notice the checkbox turns it on and off. Double click the lock. So you're unlocking the layer. So when you take your eraser and start erasing, this is what you get. You get checkers. Checkers means transparency, meaning whatever you put behind here will show up. And we're going to do this for this exercise, is we're going to erase the entire background. Now, to speed this up, you can use the square select and select a region and hit the backspace or delete key on your keyboard. And you can do this for all those kind of general sections. Careful not to get your shoulder or your head. So this is a fast way to get rid of a lot of regions. Okay, delete, backspace, and then when you're done, notice the ants. I call these ants. They're selection ants. We want to go select, deselect. And what this does is it makes the ants go away. And that's important because when you go back to your eraser to use your erasing, you want to be able to erase anything you want. Whereas if it was still selected, you'd only be able to erase inside the selected area. Now, my brush is kind of big for this kind of thing. I'm only using the edge of my brush. This is very important because you don't want to erase your actual self, right? So what I would do is click very gently around the edges and then make the brush smaller to get in some of the crevices. So reduce the size. And notice the softness. That's the edge of the brush. I would not recommend it being super hard edge because then it'll look choppy. It's sort of like a bad cut of paper. I'd use a very soft, well, not very soft, but a softer edge. Let me try this out and see what it looks like. Notice I scroll in and out. Now look how sharp that is. That could be a problem when you're getting around the edge here. You can accidentally like clip your neck here, and like, yep, see, there's a little bit there. So I would not use that. I would use a softer edge, a little bit softer. Control Z for undo, right? If you want to make a mistake, Control plus the Z on the keyboard will undo something. So go ahead and try some undos and see how that works. So again, I'm going to make the softness of the brush be a little bit softer so that as I go on the edge there, it's a little more forgiving. Now I'm trying to get in the corners there a little bit. Zoom in, zoom out, make the brush bigger, smaller, whatever you need. Now, notice how hard it is to kind of like get around the edges. If you have a trackpad, it might be a little difficult. Control Z, which is undo every time you make a mistake. But you want to kind of cautiously go around. Oh, I got a little bit of my hair there. That's okay. You can undo that if you want. Now, here's another little trick. If you click once and hold Shift on the keyboard and click again, it does straight lines. So look at this region right here. I might want to click, Shift, click, boom. Get a straight line there. It's just easier to erase, so you're not having to like worry about like fumbling. So I'm going to show you a couple more examples like that. So I'm going to click once, hold Shift, click again, click once, Shift, click again. See how fast that could be if you're careful. Of course, click once, hold Shift, click again, and then I might clean it up. There we go, around the neck. Rather than trying to like slide, you know, on the trackpad, I can Shift once, click, Shift again, and then I can just erase wherever I want after that. But it's a nice way to kind of keep them nice and lined up. And I'm only using the edge of the brush, remember, the edge of the brush, as I outline around. And now when I get to my hair, a fuzzy brush is really, really useful here because it kind of makes it look rough. So make sure you have your fuzzy brush make sure the softness is not too hard so that it's difficult to get around your hair. Take your time to clean up, make sure there's no little pieces left behind. And look at my hair, I kind of chopped it off with that last that selection delete, which was not a good idea. I can fix it up. I'm just going to kind of use the edge of my brush and kind of be random about it to kind of make it look like my hair is just messy. So I'm going to just click, click, click. Just click, click, click. I'm not going to click and drag. I'm going to just tap the mouse and clip the edges, sort of like scissor clippers. All right, and then I'm going to grab the eraser some more. I'm going to clean up the rest of this. All the way around the shoulders. I'm just going to make sure that I get all the little pieces. Don't let anything hang out. Remember to undo if you make a mistake. So Control Z. When you get around small areas, if you get straight lines, hold Shift, right? Click once, Shift, click. And make sure, you get everything. This is a detail-oriented project. See how well you can do this, and that's how you're going to be kind of evaluated when you turn this in. So kind of clean it up. Make sure there's nothing laying around. Then you're going to file, save it. Now, this is an online platform that does not save on the platform. So what you have to do is you have to save it to your computer. And there are different file types. Here we have what's called the PXD file. The PXD file is for saving your project so that you can work on it again. So if you wanted to, take a break, turn off your computer, you have to save it as a PXD file, download it, and then re-upload it to the Pixlr next time you want to work on it. So a PXD file keeps the work in progress. A JPEG is a flat-out picture. It puts white back on the background. Now that's an option, but we're not going to use that this time. What we want to do is keep it transparent. I have a particular task that we're going to do next with this. So use PNG file. So remember, PNG keeps the transparency, keeps all the checkers on there. And then you're going to download it. And you can put it in your Google Drive if you like, or download it to your computer as is. I recommend the downloads folder for this particular one because you're just going to re-upload it to Schoology. Rename it, but keep the .png on it. That file type is kind of important to keep. So I'm going to rename mine, me edited, save. To turn in your assignment, you're going to go to Materials, click on the assignment, Submit Assignment. You're going to click on the File icon, and because I'm on Windows, this is my interface, but in Google Drive, you will find your picture. Make sure it's the PNG version if you have multiple versions of it. And then click Submit. And that is how you turn in this assignment.